Not every dangerous question comes with anger. Sometimes it comes softly through a visitor standing near a village path, asking with a smile, "How old is little Henry now? What day was he born?" To other people, it may sound harmless, but inside Alex and Tu Na's wooden house, that question landed like a stone on the floor. Because when a stranger begins asking about a child's birth date, his routine, and the people around him, the problem is no longer only about land, business, or old disputes. It has moved closer to the porch, closer to the gate, closer to Henry. And that evening, as Tu Na held Henry's small sandals in her hand, Alex understood one thing clearly. They could not protect their family by shouting louder. They had to protect them by sharing less. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a peaceful and beautiful day. Today we'll follow Alex and Tu Na as one quiet question about Henry's birth date teaches them that not every question deserves an answer. Tu Na sat down slowly beside Ba Tang. Henry crawled closer to her knees and leaned his head against her leg. She placed one hand on his hair without looking away from Alex. "So what do we say?" she asked. "When people ask?" Alex picked up a small piece of chalk from Henry's drawing corner and walked to the old wooden wall near the kitchen. He did not write a long rule. He wrote only 3 short lines. Kind answer, no detail, change direction. Ba Tang read the words and gave a small nod. Alex said, "If someone asks Henry's age, we say, 'He is still small.' If they ask his birthday, we say, 'We do not share children's personal details.' If they ask where he plays, we say, 'He stays close to family.' Then we change the topic." Tu Na listened carefully. It sounded simple. Too simple, maybe. She did not call out loudly like usual. She did not smile first. She looked once toward Henry, then toward Tu Na, and her voice became lower. "Alex," she said, "someone was asking about Henry in the village." The sound of the water seemed to grow louder. Tu Na's hands stopped in the basin. Alex turned slowly from the gate. Ba Tang stepped inside, but she kept looking behind her, as if the dust on the path might still carry someone's footsteps. "At the tea stall," she continued, "a man asked how old Henry was. Then he asked his birth date." For a moment, nobody moved. Henry looked up because he heard his name, but he did not understand the weight of it. He only smiled at Ba Tang and lifted the wooden wheel. Tu Na dried her hands on the corner of her shirt. Ba Tang lowered herself onto the porch bench. Alex looked from Ba Tang to Tu Na. "If we run around asking who said what, everyone will know the question scared us. If we accuse too quickly, they will learn what matters most. But if we become quiet and careful, they get nothing useful." Tu Na swallowed. Silence felt wrong to her. Silence felt like hiding. It felt like allowing someone else to move freely while she stood still with fear in her hands. But Alex did not mean weak silence. He meant disciplined silence, the kind that closes a door gently before the wind reaches the lamp. He said, "From today, we tighten what people know about Henry." Ba Tang nodded slowly. "That is right." Tu Na looked down at the wet vegetables beside her. "What can they do with a birth date?" she asked. The kettle was just beginning to shake on the stove when Ba Tang arrived. It was late afternoon, the kind of hour when the yard usually felt soft. The sun leaned across the old wooden boards of the porch. A towel hung from a bamboo rail. Somewhere near the garden, water dripped slowly from a clay jar into the basin below. Henry was sitting on the porch step, pushing a small wooden wheel across the floor with both hands. Tu Na was rinsing vegetables near the kitchen door. Her sleeves were rolled up. Her hair was tied loosely, and her face carried the quiet tiredness of someone who had been working since morning, but still had dinner to prepare. Alex was near the gate, checking a loose hinge. Nothing seemed unusual. Until Ba Tang stopped before entering the yard. "His birth date?" she asked quietly. Ba Tang nodded. He asked like it was nothing, like an uncle asking kindly, but I have lived long enough to know when a question is too smooth. Alex did not answer immediately. That was his way. When trouble arrived, he did not rush to fill the air. He watched where it stood. He measured its shape. But Tu Na felt something rising in her chest. The old fear. The kind that does not always come from one event, but from many small pressures gathered together. Land papers, business talk, strange visitors, quiet warnings, faces near the gate that did not belong there. And now, Henry. Tu Na looked toward her son. He was too young to know why adults suddenly stopped laughing. Too young to know why his age, his birthday, his little routine could become something someone wanted. That was what hurt most. A child's life should be full of small, ordinary questions. Did he eat porridge? Did he nap? Did he lose one sandal again near the garden? Not this. Not strangers asking about dates. Not people collecting pieces of him like loose seeds from the ground. Alex walked to the porch and knelt beside Henry. He touched the wheel, rolled it once, then gave it back. Henry laughed softly. Only then did Alex stand and say, "We do not panic." Tu Na turned toward him. "How can we not?" she asked. "They are asking about him now." Alex's voice stayed calm, but his eyes were serious. "Because panic teaches people where to press next." That line stayed in the air. Each line was so ordinary that it almost hurt. These were the small facts of Henry's life, the rhythm of his day, morning porridge, yard play, nap after lunch, sandals by the porch, the little path to the garden. But now each ordinary thing needed a boundary. Tu Na whispered, "I hate that we have to think like this." Alex sat across from her. "I know." He did not tell her not to feel afraid. He did not say she was overthinking. He did not bury her fear under advice. He simply reached for the towel beside the table and wiped the water from her fingers, one by one, because she had forgotten they were still wet. That was how Alex loved under pressure. Not with many words, with presence, with a fixed hinge, with a list on the table, with a gate checked twice before dark. That afternoon, Ba Tang returned with more news. She had asked carefully, without causing noise. The man asking about Henry was not from the nearby houses. He had come with someone connected to the old land matter. He did not stay long. He asked 3 people small questions, never the same one twice. Henry's age, whether Alex was home every day, whether Tu Na still worked in the garden in the afternoon. Ba Tang's mouth tightened as she said it. He was collecting pieces. Tu Na felt cold in her arms. Alex looked toward the gate. The repaired hinge held firm. But he knew hinges were not enough, so they added the 3rd step. They created a family response plan. Again, it was not dramatic. It was written on the back of an old calendar and kept inside the kitchen cabinet. A plan closes some doors. It tells the heart, here is what we do first. That evening, they practiced their answers. It felt strange at first. Ba Tang pretended to be a visitor. "How old is Henry exactly?" Tu Na answered, "He is still little. We don't share exact details." Ba Tang tried again. "What day was he born? I want to prepare a blessing." Alex answered, "Thank you for your kindness. We keep family dates private." Ba Tang smiled slightly and made the question harder. "Who watches him when you both go to the field?" Tu Na's face changed, but she stayed steady. "He is always with family. Please sit here. I'll bring tea." Alex nodded. "Good. You did not explain too much." That was another common mistake. When people feel uncomfortable setting a boundary, they over-explain it. They say too much, they apologize too much, they give reasons, and reasons can become new openings. A simple boundary is stronger, not angry, not rude, just closed, like a gate that does not need to argue with the road. The next few days changed the rhythm of the house. Not in a frightening way, in a more careful way. The porch light was turned on before the sky became fully dark. The side gate was tied from inside with a stronger rope. Henry's toys were kept away from the front fence. Visitors were welcomed near the outer bench, not deep inside the yard. Tu Na began noticing things she had never thought about before. A delivery man did not need to see the kitchen. A buyer did not need to know Alex was leaving for the market tomorrow morning. It was a practical gift, but Tu Na understood the tenderness inside it. Ba Tang was not only warning them, she was helping them build a calmer home. They spent the afternoon organizing the house. Keys on one hook, documents in one box, visitors' deliveries received at the front bench. Henry's things kept inside after sunset, important phone numbers written near the kitchen shelf. None of it looked heroic, no one passing by would notice. But inside Tu Na's heart, every small order felt like one less shadow. This is how many families become stronger, not by one grand act, but by 100 small decisions that say, this child is loved, this home has edges, this peace will be protected. Near sunset, a young worker came to return a basket. They still greeted buyers. They still lived in the village. But Henry's private life became private. That night, after Henry fell asleep, Tu Na took the chalk and rewrote the 3 lines on the wall more neatly. Kind answer, no detail, change direction. Then underneath she added one more line. For Henry. Alex saw it the next morning. He did not say anything. He only touched the chalk words with his thumb, then went outside to open the gate. The air was cool. Mist sat low over the garden beds. The house looked the same from outside. Old wood, simple porch, vegetables washed in a basin. A child's laughter when Henry woke and called for his mother. But inside, the family had changed. They had become harder to read. Not harder to love, just harder to enter carelessly. The porch light flickered on, though the sky was not yet dark. Henry rested his cheek on Tu Na's shoulder, unaware that another question had just entered the yard. Alex looked at Tu Na, then at Ba Tang. His voice was calm, inside first. And as he stepped into the wooden house, hiding the label from Henry's eyes, Tu Na understood that protection was not finished. It had only become more careful. And then, just when the house began to feel steady again, the formal-looking envelope arrived. It came in the afternoon. A man on a motorbike stopped near the gate and called Alex's name. Alex walked out alone. The envelope was clean, stiff, and too official-looking for ordinary village news. There was a printed label on the front. Alex saw the sender's mark, and his expression did not change, but his fingers tightened slightly. Tu Na stood near the porch holding Henry against her hip. Henry saw the envelope and reached out with curiosity. "Paper," he said softly. Alex turned the envelope over before Henry could see the outside label. Then he folded it under his arm, plain side, facing out. Tu Na noticed. Ba Tang, standing near the kitchen door, noticed too. No one spoke for a moment. He paused at the gate and asked, "Is Alex home?" Tu Na answered from the porch, "You can leave the basket there. I'll tell him." He nodded and left. Before, she might have said, "Alex went to the back field and will return after dark." Now she did not. One less detail. One safer evening. Alex came back carrying a hoe over his shoulder, dust on his trousers, and sweat at his collar. Tu Na told him what happened. He looked toward the gate, then back at her. "You did well." She smiled, but her eyes were tired. "I don't want to become suspicious of everyone." "You don't have to," Alex said. "Just become careful with everyone." That line stayed with her. Suspicion makes the world ugly. Carefulness keeps the world clear. They still trusted Batang. They still respected neighbors. There is a difference Henry could feel, even if he could not name it. A few evenings later, Alex and Tu Na sat on the porch after dinner. The bowls were washed. The smell of rice still lingered in the kitchen. Henry was asleep inside, one hand open beside his cheek. Tu Na looked toward the gate. "I keep thinking," she said, "what if they already know too much?" Alex was quiet for a moment. "Maybe they know some things," he said, "but from now on they learn less." That answer did not pretend to fix the past. It gave power to the next step. Tu Na leaned back against the wooden post. The old wood was cool against her shoulder. "I used to think protecting Henry meant standing in front of him when danger arrived," she said. Alex looked at her. For the first time in days, Tu Na laughed freely. Alex looked up from tying bamboo strips near the fence. Henry looked proud, as if he had helped the whole family. Tu Na took the basket from him and gave him one small leaf to carry instead. "There," she said, "this one is your work." Henry walked slowly toward Alex, holding the leaf like a treasure. Alex accepted it with great seriousness. "Good work," he said. The fear had not vanished, but life had returned to the center. That is important. When pressure comes near a family, the goal is not to live forever in alarm. The goal is to make enough quiet protection that ordinary joy can continue. Because the child should not grow up inside the parents' fear. He should grow up inside their care. And now? Now I think it also means not handing danger his name, his time, and his path. Alex nodded. That was the deeper lesson they had earned. Safety is not only a reaction, it is a habit. It is the way the shoe rack is placed, the way a mother answers a question, the way a father watches the gate without making the child afraid, the way a trusted neighbor speaks directly instead of spreading rumors, the way a family decides that love does not need to be public to be real. The next day, Ba Tong brought a small cloth pouch for Tu Na. Inside were tiny wooden tags, each one carved with a simple mark. One for the gate key, one for the storage room, one for the garden shed. Ba Tong said, "When things are named clearly, people stop searching everywhere." Alex smiled faintly. A neighbor's cousin did not need to hear that Henry always napped after lunch. Even good information given to the wrong ears could travel farther than intended. Still, the house did not become cold. That mattered to Alex. He did not want safety to steal warmth. So he kept the tea ready for neighbors. Tu Na still shared vegetables with the elder near the well. Henry still laughed in the yard. Ba Tang still came in through the side path, calling softly before she entered. They were not shutting out the village. They were choosing what belonged outside and what belonged inside. That difference saved the spirit of the home. One morning, Tu Na found Henry trying to carry a small basket of washed greens. It was too heavy for him, and he dragged it across the porch, leaving a wet trail behind. The next morning, the change began. Not loudly, no big announcement, no frightening Henry. Alex moved the small shoe rack from beside the front gate to the inside corner of the porch. Before, Henry's tiny sandals were always visible from the path. Anyone passing could tell whether he was home. It was such a small thing, almost nothing. But when Tu Na noticed the empty space near the gate, she understood. Safety is often made of small things that strangers cannot read anymore. Then Alex shifted Henry's playmat away from the open side of the porch. He placed it nearer to the kitchen wall, where Tu Na could see him while washing vegetables, and Alex could see him from the yard. He did not cage the child. He shaped the space around him. There is a difference. She smiled gently and said, "Still small, still making us busy every day. The mustard greens are fresher today. Do you want to see the baskets?" The buyer laughed and followed her toward the garden. That was all. No coldness, no argument, no fear shown, just a boundary wrapped in ordinary conversation. Alex saw it from the side of the house. He said nothing, but later, when the buyer left, he placed a cup of warm tea beside Tu Na. She looked at him. "I almost answered." "But you didn't," Alex said. The small victory felt larger than it looked. Because protecting a family is not only about facing strangers. Sometimes it is about facing your own habits, the habit of explaining, the habit of pleasing, the habit of believing every soft voice deserves the truth. If someone asked about Henry, they would give no details. If someone came to the gate asking personal questions, they would not invite them inside. If Alex was away, Tu Na would call Ba Tong before speaking further. If Ba Tong saw strangers asking around, she would tell Alex directly, not spread it through gossip. If Henry was playing outside, one adult would always know exactly where he was. And most importantly, no one would post, announce, or casually tell visitors Henry's birthday, documents, routines, school plans, health details, or where he would be at a certain time. Alex tapped the paper once. "A plan makes fear smaller." Tu Na read it again. It did. Not because the danger disappeared, but because her mind no longer had to run in circles. Fear grows when every possibility is open. Then came the second step. They decided who could know what. Ba Tong could know everything necessary because she was family in action, even if not by blood. The old neighbor near the well could know only simple things. Workers in the yard did not need to know Henry's schedule. Buyers who came for farm goods did not need to enter the porch. Visitors did not need to see where Henry slept. Tu Na frowned. "But what if people feel we don't trust them?" Alex answered gently. "Trust does not require access to everything." That became another quiet rule. Good people will understand boundaries. Curious people may complain. Dangerous people will test them. That is why a family cannot build safety only around people's feelings. They must build it around the child's needs. Fear says, "Do not move." Protection says, "Move where loving eyes can still find you." Henry did not notice the change. He only brought his wooden wheel and sat in the new spot, humming to himself. Tu Na watched him from the basin. For the first time since Ba Tong's warning, her shoulders dropped a little. Not completely, but enough. Later that morning, a vegetable buyer came by to ask about the next harvest. He was not suspicious. He was a familiar man with a loud laugh and mud on his sandals. But while waiting near the gate, he smiled toward Henry and said, "Ah, he's growing fast. How old is he now?" Tu Na froze for half a breath. The old habit rose first. She almost answered. Then she remembered the chalk words on the wall. Kind answer, no detail. Change direction. Ba Tong added, "When I was younger, people asked many things. Whose house, whose field, who comes home late? We answered because the village was small. But now people carry questions for other people. Not every question belongs to the person asking it." Outside, a chicken scratched near the fence. The evening light shifted. The house did not become safer all at once, but something inside it became clearer. Alex took a piece of paper and began making a list, not for drama, but for discipline. He wrote Henry's full birth date, his daily schedule, where he naps, who takes him outside, which gate he uses, when Alex and Tu Na leave home, who watches him when they work. Then he placed the paper on the table. "These are not village topics anymore," he said. Tu Na looked at the list. Alex did not answer like a man trying to frighten her. He answered like a father sorting tools before a storm. Maybe nothing. Maybe they only want to confirm something. Maybe they want to sound close to us. Maybe they want to use the information in a paper, a conversation, or a story. We do not know, but one thing is clear: they should not have it. This was the first lesson that evening. Not all private information looks private. A child's age can sound ordinary. A birthday can sound sweet. A play schedule can sound like village talk. But when those details are collected by the wrong person, they become a map. A map of when a child is outside. A map of who watches him. A map of which gate opens in the morning. A map of when the parents are tired, busy, or away. But that was the point. Protection at home is not only a locked gate, it is also a prepared sentence, because many families do not fail because they do not care. They fail because they are surprised. Someone asks kindly, and they answer kindly. Someone smiles, and they give one more detail. Someone says, "I only want to know," and suddenly the family has handed over the child's routine without noticing. Alex looked at Tu Na. "The mistake," he said, "is thinking politeness means full answers." Tu Na breathed out slowly. That sentence reached her. She had always been raised to be respectful, to answer elders, to explain herself, to not seem rude. But motherhood had changed the meaning of kindness. Sometimes kindness to a stranger must stop at the edge of a child's safety. That night the house did not feel fearless, but it felt prepared. Henry still slept peacefully. Tu Na still warmed water in the kitchen. Ba Tang still sat close enough to help. Alex still checked the gate before turning down the porch light. The difference was not that danger had disappeared. The difference was that the family had stopped giving pieces of their life away without thinking. They learned that a child's safety is built quietly, through fewer details, calmer answers, trusted people, prepared plans, and love that pays attention before trouble becomes loud. Sometimes protecting a home does not begin with a lock. Sometimes it begins with one simple decision. Not every question deserves an answer.